The people goal is helping people in business grow their capabilities through expert HR partnerships. So that's the sort of offering that we, as Ridgeline HR, were bringing to small to medium businesses. And we saw a hierarchy. So the first step is you've got to actually make a commitment. There has to be a public statement, a policy, a value statement, something which says this is who we are and this is what we're going to do. The second step in getting the right stuff in place is about capability, which is building the systems, the tools, the resources, putting in place the people, the time, and all of that stuff to give life to the commitment. The third is competency. We have to teach the players to utilise those systems and resources and their time properly to be able to deliver the right results. And ultimately, we want that to become the ecosystem in the business, the culture, where that's all integrated into the business and it happens on a day-to-day basis. Now, I've consulted hundreds of organisations and I have struggled with most to get them past step 2. When I look at their policies, they scream, Peter, people are our greatest risk. So we need to change the language to fit the psychology that we want in the business. So, for example, we don't do bullying and harassment policies. We do respectful workplace policies, which talk about what we aspire to be in that space. And then we go on to say, yes, you need to know about sexual harassment and victimisation and whatever else. And we say, we'll do everything we can to help you in this space, but if you don't comply, there are consequences. But it's the footnote rather than the headline, and that makes a difference. The continuous coaching model I spoke about came about through a personal experience with my youngest son, who is on the autism spectrum, has ADHD, Tourette's syndrome, and a cocktail of other things. And he was really struggling in mainstream schooling until we found a school that delivers a strengths-based education approach called Big Picture Education, which transformed him. And we credit it with potentially having saved his life. And I came up with 4 levels. So the first one, the C1, is communication. And this happens very often where we decide we're going to make a change and we just tell people. Now, under workplace health and safety legislation and under modern awards, that's simply not good enough. You can't just tell people. You have to at least give them the opportunity to have a say about that, to see whether there are ways to mitigate any negative effects. And that's what level C2 is. It's that compliance level where you inform people, you give them the opportunity to have your say, you listen, you consider it, you feed back to them, etc. There are 5 components to it. The first one is honesty, and that is in 2 contexts. One is I do go and find out what my real obligations are in relation to compliance and not put my hand in the sand. And then I have a good, hard and honest view at my organisation in 4 contexts. The policies we have, so what are the settings that we're putting in place? The processes, do our work processes work? Do they create any barriers for people? Are they causing any friction? So I'm just going to have a coffee, and we sat down and I said, so how often do the blokes go from the workshop up to the canteen to get a soft drink, in summer, on a hot day? On average, probably a couple of times a day. Okay. And how long does it take to walk up there and back? Probably about 15 minutes. Okay. And are there interruptions? Do you run into people? Oh, yeah, you better make that 20 minutes because we generally, you run into someone and have a chat. Okay. And how many people are in the workshop? There are 40. So you've got 40 people going for 20 minutes 2 times a day. How much time is that?
A lot.
And how much productivity have we lost by not having the soft drink machine in the workshop? And he just went in and said, do you know that you're losing 37 hours a week because you wouldn't give us that?